Hey guys, in this video I wanted to show you a few things I've been working on. One of them is a concept for radar. Um, Radar made using the elements we have already in the game, mainly the rangefinder and the hinge. And I'm trying to display that onto a makeshift screen, which is a display where each of the pixels is actually a light up button. So how this works is the rangefinder is swept from left to right using the hinge obviously, and then every 0.2 seconds a YOLO script will set the state of the pixel that is that corresponds to what angle that sweep is on. It'll set it to either being pressed and lit up or not pressed. And I only bothered to make one row of pixels functional to demonstrate this concept because really I don't think it's practical. Like you can see the amount of buttons here, it's 20 by 20. And there's just so many limitations to this, namely that the distance information, even though the beam is sweeping continuously, I'm only able to sample it once every 0.2 seconds, which means that the resolution on this is really poor, and obviously using buttons for the pixels of a display is not super great, because it means an immense amount of variable names and like probably isn't good performance-wise to do this. Just cover a panel in buttons. So I think this could maybe be interesting if in future they added an invisible rangefinder or a faster ticking YOLO script or an element that would be better suited to being a pixel, such as like a tiny light where you could set a variable amount of brightness, because with the button it's either on or it's off. Which means that the pixel, any screen you made out of buttons would have to be completely black and white. It couldn't have shades of grey in there and give a more informative picture of what the depth of objects is out there beyond what you can see in the fog through the lasers. I think the other thing I did recently is I like the idea of racing becoming a part of Starbase, and yeah, I'd like to do racing, so I designed this ship which is just one big racing gate, and I thought, the concept is you could potentially print out a whole lot of these ships and you could move them into whatever configuration you like, wherever you want them, to create a course and then run racing through that. So what I found from experimenting here is that when you're going at the game's speed limit, trying to fit through a hole, even though it almost fills the entire build area, the size of this ship, it's pretty big. Even at that size, hitting that it just feels like threading a needle. It takes too much skill, in my opinion, and it wouldn't. People really would have to slow down just to be able to make sure that they hit each of these gates. So from now I'm thinking the better solution would probably be to use stations as each of the gates and just place a lot of stations nearby to each other, and build kind of rings or hoops or obstacles to be the course within the station builder. To go along with the racing idea, I thought obviously you would like to have, I thought it would be cool to have either like the number of the gate that you're going through or the time that you've spent on a particular lap or something read out to you in a way that you'd be able to read it. So I thought, hey, why not make an 8-segment LCD like number thing out of the fluoro lights. So you can see in this YOLO script I have the variable digit 1, and digit 1 is being set to 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, etc. And then over on this other YOLO script, I have it simply sends you to the line that corresponds with that number, and what that line does is it turns all of the correct lights on or off to make that number appear. And here's how that looks. Up close it looks kind of gross because the lights are really blown out and blobbed everywhere, but from a distance it actually looks really nice, really readable, and that is kind of the context that it would be best in. So yeah, this looks, I'm really happy with how this little light looks, how this little digit looks from a distance, and you could string these together and make some pretty cool readouts for numbers that you'd need to read at range for some reason. So yeah, that'll do for this video. Tell me what you think about racing in Starbase and things like that in the comments. God bless.